Hi viewers, welcome to Jaren Entertain channel. So, in the first part, I have given the introduction and contents of the book, The Psychology of Money. Today, we can see a few pages in the first chapter. The first chapter is No One is Crazy. No one is crazy. See the contents. Your personal experiences with money make up maybe 0.0000001 percentage of what's happened in the world, but maybe 80 percentage of how you think the world works. This is some reality he told the book. I can read now. Share it and understand along with me. Let me tell you about your problem. It might make you feel better about what you do with your money and less judgmental about what other people do with theirs. People do some crazy things with money, but no one is crazy. Here's the thing: people from different generations, raised by different parents who earned different incomes and held different values in different parts of the world, born into different economies, experiencing different job markets with different incentives and different degree of lack, learn very different lessons. Everyone has their own unique Everyone has their own unique experience with how the world works, and what you have experienced is more compelling than what you learned secondhand. So, all of us, you, me, everyone, go through life anchored to a set of views about how money works that vary widely from person to person. What seems crazy to you might make sense to me. The person who grew up in poverty thinks about risk and rewards in ways the child of a wealthy banker cannot fathom if he tried. The person who grew up with when inflation was high experienced something the person who grew up with stable prices never had to. The stockbroker who lost everything during the Great Depression experienced something the tech worker basking in the glory of the late 1990s cannot imagine. The Australian who hasn't seen a recession in 30 years has experienced something no American ever has. The second page. On and on. The list of experiences is endless. You know stuff about money that I don't, and vice versa. You go through life with different beliefs, goals, and forecasts than I do. That's not because one of us is smarter than other or has better information. It's because we have had different lives shaped by different and equally perceived experiences. Your personal experiences with money make up maybe 0.0000001 percentage of what's happened in the world, but maybe 80 percentage of how you think the world works. So equally, smart people can disagree about how and why recession happened, how you should invest your money, what you should prioritize, how much risk you should take, and so on. In his book, 1930s America, Frederick Lewis Allen wrote that the Great Depression marked millions of Americans inwardly for the rest of their lives, but there was a range of experiences. 25 years later, as he was running For President John F. Kennedy was asked a reporter what he remembered from the Depression. He remarked, I have no first hand knowledge of the Depression. My family had one of the great fortunes of the world, and it was worth more than ever then. We had bigger houses, more servants, we traveled more. About only thing that I saw directly was when my father hired some extra gardeners just to give them a job so they could eat. I really did not learn about the depression until I read about it at Harvard. This was a major point in the 1960 election. How people thought could someone with no understanding of the biggest economic story of the last generation be put in charge of the economy? It was in many ways overcome by only by John F. Kennedy's experience in the World War II. That was the other most widespread emotional experience of the previous generation and something his primary opponent, Hubert Humphrey, did not have. See the next page. The challenge for us is that not amount of studying or open mindedness can genuinely recreate the power of fear and uncertainty. I can read about what it was like to lose everything during the Great Depression, but I don't have the emotional scars of those who actually experienced it. And the person who lived through it cannot fathom why someone like me could come across as a complacent about things like owning stocks. We see the world through a different lens. Spreadsheets can model the history frequency by big stock market declines, but they cannot model the feeling of coming home, looking at your kids, and wondering if you have made a mistake that will impact their lives. Studying history makes you feel like you understand something, but until you have lived through it and personally felt its consequences, you may not understand it enough to change your behavior. We all think we know how the world works, but we have all only experienced a tiny sliver of it. An investor, Michael Batnick, says some lessons have to be experienced before they can be understood. We are all victims in different way to that truth. The remaining will be continued in the next video. Thank you friends for your watching and your support. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you.